Sure, that's local.
Stovepipe yesterday. I got it cleansed. I cut down with my decant. Worst spot possible right there.
I got a couple of sons going to church. Up on his house. I went up on the trouble. Friday. Done about the same thing. I bought my whole girl's house and killed myself there.
Okay. If it goes off, it's 0944. PD or if it goes off, it's 0944.
I'll know when I ask.
Yeah, PD
This is an important meeting. Please share to Facebook. I gotta share myself.
What's your pleasure? G-Wagon, what's your pleasure? Let's go through my G-Wagon, what's your pleasure?
How's it feel? Feeling any better or worse? Worse.
Being an excavator all day.
Get finished?
Yep. Are you finished? Yes, sir. Yeah. I walked a lot of days and I got my excavator house. Kind of being like the one you got hiding behind you, you know that fella? Oh, you know it's between. That's your twin. That one's over, I couldn't walk when I got out. He puffed with it. It's worse than person. He's got more energy. I may have his energy. I just don't have any picture.
I gotta fix this. So this is a major thing here in Harlan. Please share everywhere locally.
Place he lived in? Yeah. Oh, God. I bet there's 20 rats coming out there.
Monica Nightmare.
They probably done that, but they'll find some rat boys.
Oh well, it'll be good.
They'll be infested.
So this is a major announcement and meeting. So get ready.
God, it's awesome. Oh, yeah,
Well, Austin Miller. Austin Miller right there. O.G. Sean. James Howard. The whole water board. Or my buddy Ronnie. So we got major water announcement coming. Please run the likes up. Super chats, cash apps, PayPal's, memberships, comments, all that. There's my good buddies, Kobe and Ronnie. If my dad's watching, tell him I need the password to his phone he gave me.
All the blood I got was on my boat there. Might not take.
What up, Bronson? We in the courthouse for a major meeting. It's major news for the county. Run the likes up. Hang on. I'll see what I can do about the lagging.
Just give a rundown of our meeting tonight. We'll start with a presentation from Kentucky American, and then we'll open it up to some questions from our customers, and then after that, we'll get into our regular scheduled meeting. So I'll turn it over to Charlie Cannell, Kentucky American.
Thank you for having us here tonight. I'm Charlie Boland. This is Bill Kimmel with Kentucky American Water, and just appreciate the opportunity to visit with the VMUD system tonight. I want to thank everybody also that's cooperated with us as we've kind of worked to try to exchange information about our systems and understand things better so that we can put together this evaluation and offer to present tonight to the Black Mountain Utility District to consider. So I'm still trying to get used to saying VMUD, sorry guys. So we did give some packets like this. On the left side of that, it's got just some information about our company. On the right side, there's a cover letter that related to what we're presenting tonight, and then the actual offer is included in that left side behind the cover letter, just so that you know what is out there. So we also have provided a binder that I think Mr. Howard has over there that has some printed information that we understood would be of interest to the board as they consider our ability to serve and to come in and purchase the system and to continue on with great service. So, what we're presenting tonight, I want to walk through this at a high level what the offer is. The total value of the offer being presented tonight is $22.4 million. Of that, $1.5 million would be offered in front in terms of cash available that would be used to pay off the debt obligations of the system up to $1.5 million. We understand that's about in a 1.1 or 2 range right now, but we want to pay off the current debt obligations. We're required to do that. The additional $20.9 million would then be capital investments that we would make in the system over the next 5 years of ownership after we get it, based on all the information that we gathered and examining the system and looking at the assets and seeing what the needs are as far as trying to get the system into a better condition. I want to talk just briefly about the 1.5 million number. As a water district in Kentucky, you're not, if you sell a system, the water district then becomes dissolved, because you sold your asset, you're no longer, you've got your obligations dispensed, nobody there to hold proceeds or, you know, after that debt obligation is paid off. So what we do is try to make sure that we're investing in that system after the acquisition and putting the dollars in there. That's where that 20.9 million of investment in the system comes. But that's, you know, the way that Kentucky law is presented to us, and so we wanted to just divvy it up that way so that you understand it. And obviously, if you have a question about that, we're happy to do what we can to answer that. So, if you look at the proposal document that's got this cover on it, just want to just walk you through that page by page, just at a high level, to let you know what's in there, just so that as you review that, have questions that come to mind or whatever, we're happy to take questions when they come up, or you can jot them down and do it at the end, how you want to do that. But, the first page there basically is, the offer that I just talked about. I know that's what people are interested in. I want just to tell a little bit about ourselves as well. So Kentucky American Water, we live in 15 counties in the state of Kentucky. Our largest service area is in Lexington. We come as far south as Rockcastle County. Matter of fact, we just were approved to purchase the city of Livingston's water system yesterday by PSC. And we go as far north as Owen County, so up in the Owenton area, up getting close to the Ohio River counties. We come around, we're in Scott County where Georgetown is. We supply Toyota as one of our big customers and so forth. And then Lexington obviously is our biggest base of service. We've got two plants off the Kentucky River that serve our customers there. And then we also have the Jacobson Reservoir that we use in Lexington, so that we're able to provide all the water service that through our treatment plants that we have there. Areas where we don't have plants, like here, you know, are where we would, are in Livingston. I just mentioned we are purchasing water from others, and we continue to do that until such time as we might want to build a plant, depending on, you know, our customer base in any given area. So that's the a little bit about us. We have about 525,000 customers in the state of Kentucky. We also are in 14 other states that range from California to Hawaii. We've got some small operations in Hawaii. We all want to work there, by the way, you know. But California, we've got quite a footprint there. A lot of our middle tier states, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia. We're used to this kind of terrain because especially in West Virginia, and up to Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So we come across that part of the United States. We also have 18 military bases that we operate under 50-year leases with the Department of Defense, and you know, those are bases that you would have heard of. Big places like West Point, Fort Hood, Fort Sill, Leavenworth, Vandenberg, places like that. So, you know, the federal government trusts us to take care of those bases, and so we're honored to be able to serve our military folks that way as well. So, that's I just wanted to sort of let you understand a little bit about who we are and our qualifications for doing that. I know that's one of the issues that you'll be looking at as far as somebody that might eventually purchase the system. The page that's actually numbered 2, which is the third page in the document, sorry about that. But we've talked about the offer and the infrastructure investments we would make. The 20.9 million comes based on, again, review that we did with the system, so we know what the needs are with regard to items like mains that need to be replaced, like tanks that overflow, like pump stations that you're not sure what's going on with them, and water loss, things that happen along that way. So we would be looking at things like replacing meters in customers' systems, putting a SCADA system in on all of the infrastructure, so that we could kind of get ahead of any leak that begins to surface or for overflowing the tank, and doing all of the kinds of things that we could to shore the system up that way. And then there are other areas of the system where maybe there's been some underinvestment that we would highlight and do. There's just a number of things that will get, that will be subject of an agreement. You know, we kind of do a breakdown with the board out. Here's how we see it. We want your input on that as far as how you see it, to kind of make sure that we're going to be investing those dollars wisely over 5 years to get the system into a better condition. So we have, I want to talk about our water quality expertise. You know, we have a great team of professionals that do that and keep us in compliance with the EPA. It's all about compliance now. You know, we got lead copper rule, we got, you know, PFAS that people are dealing with. We have just all of the contaminant requirements and so forth that you need to meet, and we do a good job of that. I think we've had an NOV in Kentucky for years, and our target, by the way, for that as a company nationwide is less than 6 per year. That's really how hard that we try to do compliance with all of those standards and so forth. So all of our treatment plants I mentioned have, by the way, before I said that, we had 2, we actually have 3. We have one at our location in Lexington that is, I forget about because it's right under our feet there where our offices are, but anyway, all 3 of those have won the EPA awards, the director award for many years for how they've operated and in terms of their efficiency and how they're optimized to do the best and most efficient type of treatment for our customers. Kind of helps to save money and do things that are important to keep rates in line. You know, our financial strength, there's a little section there about that. I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of numbers on that, but you know, we have good ratings in the national bond markets, and we are able to raise capital when we need to invest in these systems so that we can do the work that we need to take care of things the way that we all want to see them taken care of. So I'm not going to talk about that really. Long-term rate stability and economies of scale. One of the things about being a larger company that's helpful is that you can buy a lot of material and do it at scale. So we can buy pipe 30% cheaper than most folks just because we buy a lot of pipe. We can buy meters more cheaply, all of those sort of things. We can are able to take advantage of our size that way. But we do that really with affordability in mind for customer rates. I mean, we all care about that. I don't want my rate going up. I don't want anybody here wants their rate going up. It's a reality of life. It's everything. The prices of things do go up. But we're regulated by the Public Service Commission, just like you guys. So you know that there's a healthy tension there, is what I say. You know that it's not necessarily most fun to justify every penny you're paying to the Public Service Commission, but it's necessary on behalf of those customers and consumers to be sure that you're doing things reasonably, that you're not overdoing it, and that you're trying to keep rates in line. And we try to keep our rates to 1%, maybe 1.5% of the median household income, so that again, on the average customer's monthly budget, it's not even close to being the biggest item. It's an important item, but we really do everything we can to keep that low. Our rates, you know, we again are governed by the commission. Our rates are similar to Black Mountain. Black Mountain might be a little higher than ours actually, but we just actually finished a rate case last year, and so we've been through that process recently, and so they've been examined closely by the commission, and we feel good about where they are. And so what we would do in this situation is, I think the proposal is to bring the Black Mountain customers onto our rates at closing, if and when that should happen, just so that you know there's an option to either bring them at closing or to keep them on their same rates and wait for our next increase and deal with things that way. So, but the way that we're looking at this one, I think it would be beneficial if we were able, for everybody, if we were able to do them at This last, we do have, let me just mention the customer service and financial assistance programs we have. We have a lot of different ways for customers to engage with us. We all know everything is trying to go digital, but we also understand and appreciate the value of the local presence and office and people that still want to be able to pay at a local location, that sort of thing. So, that's something that we take seriously and something we're certainly willing to discuss. We also have low income assistance. So somebody who is at or below the income on that 225% of the poverty level. So if you take the poverty level and multiply that times 2.25, which is an even higher income that makes you eligible for low income assistance, that's how we put that forward to our customers. So people are able to work with us to get some relief on a high bill. Obviously, if they have leaks, if they have other things, we've got payment arrangements that we can make with customers' plans, try anything that we can do to try to help these, because we know water is critical to life. The final thing I'll make on this page is the community commitment. So everywhere we go, we invest dollars in the community, not just into the systems, but there are a lot of community events, things that are important to this area of Kentucky that we would look to see how could we sponsor, how could we step up, how could we be a part of that and support what's important in this area of Kentucky, because it's got a lot of great things going on in this area. And we were just really appreciating the beauty of this place again. It's coming down here today, and just that's something that definitely we would be wanting to be a part of the community, not just somebody that just is doing your water service. So the rest of that document just walks through some of just introduces you to some of the folks that are on our team, and then it talks about next steps, and I'll get to that next. So actually the last page, I want to highlight that real quick. It says addendum. We understand that, from engaging with Allison and others, that there's a policy in place now where there are certain due diligence that the board would need to do if they were going to work with somebody for an acquisition. And so that addendum provides a lot of the information we feel like was being asked for about that. So, financial analysis about our historical performance. On that, we give you our audits for 2023, 2024 that are in that binder. They're printed there, or you have a link in here if you want to go look at that. Regulatory review, examining compliance with utility regulations. Again, we've got our consumer confidence report that is our water quality report that we provide, and also is printed off in there. We also have our an operational assessment reviewing asset conditions, workforce qualifications and capabilities, and overall operational system. We submit an annual report to the PSC, just like you guys do, that we're required to do. They come and look things over, and we've got our copy of that report there as well. And then the fourth thing was a review of relevant legal and contractual obligations, including any pending litigation and relevant duties owed to third parties, which we don't have anything for you to see with regard to that. In talking about that, I wanted to, there's one important thing I didn't talk about that was important to the board is, what about our employees? As we looked at the employees of this system, there's 12, and our proposal is we would love to hire those employees subject to the normal hiring conditions if we're able to acquire the system. The reason why is nobody knows the system better than they do. We need that expertise. We need people in the area that know the area, that are able to kind of help us see around the curve and do things that obviously we're going to need assistance with. So, that's those employees would be, on our payroll, our benefits, things that they would probably have hopefully a really good package with us and our system in terms of their future employment. I don't know if any of are your far as that goes. Any questions about what I talked about?
Yes, I have one. Bradley Idlow, Appalachian News. You're saying that you're gonna retain the employees because they know it best. So will they have worked ungodly hours I've covered on the past few weeks? Do you think they'll be getting a pay raise? With you guys coming in a bigger, franchise?
That would be the likely case of things. I don't know specifically sitting here tonight, the exact pay, but I know our employees are well compensated and have a lot of other benefits that are offered to them with regard to 401k plans and ability to purchase into our program, our stock program, and things like that, that are very good benefits to employees. Plus they get a lot of vacation, sick time, that sort of thing, obviously. So we know how important they are. So thank you for that question. Timeline wise, what we're asking for is that you would consider this. We're available for any questions, follow-up wise, or anything else. We can come back, talk on the phone, get on meetings, whatever. But we'd like that answer possible by February 27th, so about toward the end of the month. A little more than a couple of weeks out. And what would happen at that point is if we're in agreement, then we would look at what we call an asset purchase agreement. That is the governing agreement that we would need to work on, and we would like to try to get that in place maybe by late March the 20th or so, if possible. We would work back and forth on any terms, conditions in there that need to be considered and so forth. So that's a sort of the timeline that we've got for that. Let's say we get over those hoops, you decide you want to do this, we get an asset purchase agreement signed. The next step is a joint petition to the Public Service Commission, so we would both file an application with them to review this acquisition and seek their approval for that. They have some time to review that. This is the step we just got through with Livingston, for example. And then they would issue an order, and they might put some conditions, terms, things of their own in there. They have the ability, obviously, to do that. We want to keep our regulators happy. So, assuming you get through all of those steps, then and they approve it, then there would be a closing date in the future set, so that there's time to get customers lined up in terms of how they would come into our system, work with the employees, do all of the
For a month now, because I've got to get that returned.
No, it might actually go down.
Right, so that sounds great. Secondly, are you interested in any of the other 6 systems we've got in the county at this point?
The answer is yes. But
So,
it's also not just buying to buy or business to business, like, this is what we do, and
It
we want
is.
everybody to have good quality water, and have the infrastructure. That infrastructure is old, you guys